Hi, Nick Collier here, and this is my shop. Come join me. We'll have some fun. Okay, so we have our whole board to the size we want to go to. Now what we need to do is to put just a little counter bore right in, and it literally is just 200 thousandths thick, so that this nut can drop down to the level of the triple clamp itself. So we've added about, I can't remember, let's see, how much have we added? Not much. Let's add something. We're going to crank in, 30 thousandths or so. We're going to start our first turn, and we're going to bring it out to 1 to 25, and we're starting with 155. So we have 200 thousandths to go and 200 thousandths down. So let's go ahead and see what we can do here. There's 180. 200. Take another 40. $223. That should be a reasonably good slip fit in there. Yeah, let's get rid of some of the scunge. Yep, nice. Okay. So that takes care of that. Our bottom is done, our top is done. We need to clean off that edge. Now what we need to do is come back here and create the radius back in the back here. And that shouldn't be too much of a problem. Let's see. We're going to create the radius by, we're sitting at 0, I believe, on the rotary table. And so we're going to go to 90 from that direction. There's 90. And that gets us exactly dead center on this radius. And it looks like we got a lot to bring off of this side here, and maybe even a lot to bring off of this side too. But at this point, now we want to bring the table that way, so that, and get rid of the head, of course. Let's go ahead and get rid of that. So now we're sitting dead center, so we want to come back until we start touching, and then we just kind of come in until we get to, actually we want to get to the back triple clamp. Do we? Maybe not. Well, let's just wing it and see what we got. All right, so we're gonna loosen our gibs, drag our bit over, bring it up. That's probably far enough. Probably we went out of range for you. Not totally, huh? Interesting. Okay, let's just bring it back a little bit. There we go. So, drop our bit down. And I'm thinking we should do one at a time. Do I have a long bit? I believe I do. Not much longer. I've got some long finish bits. So for the moment, I think we're going to just go ahead and stay with what we got here. And we're going to bring it down. We'll do the top clamp first. Bring it in. And now we're sitting at 90 degrees. So what we want to do is bring this to 90 degrees. And we can do that by bringing it around. You know what? I think we're just going to turn it off and we're going to bring it around and square it up to the table itself. Well, there's a reasonable. Okay, so now we just kind of rotate it until it squares up to that edge. Someplace right in there. Let's get a pen and mark our spot. Now swing it around all the way around to the other side. Well, now wait a second though. Yeah, well, we're close. We can kind of fake it in because we're going to come in pretty steep over here. And who knows how much over here, and it may change this angle here, but it's going to be reasonably close. So I think we can just kind of wing it. Now this one we're going to have to wing because we can't get there. Just a little bit right there. And that's the other side. Okay, so now drop our bit down. Swing it around. Okay, so we've got this part done, and we're consistent on the two pieces. So now what we need to do is, and I'm just going to wipe this off a little bit, is we need to come in and follow this line and this line back here and machine off all the scrap off of that. So, and that, I think, was going to be saved for another day. Here's our nut. And is it going to fit nicely? Oh, man, so nice. It looks like it's sitting a little bit high. Well, maybe there's some gunge in there. Oh, yeah, there's a bunch of chips in there. We'll blow those out later. But that's where the nut's going to sit. And that'll sit right on top of that. So that's the finish of the post. So I think what we're going to do is go ahead and stop for the day. We'll take this thing apart tomorrow and start working on our perimeter. So hey, though you had a good time, I hope you did. Okay, well, the next step is to take off this excess material here. And what I want to do is I want to get both of these equal with one another with the table, and then just go ahead and trim it back until they match. So what I'm doing here is I'm gonna find 0. Oops, the other way is 0. There's 0. We're going to come up, gonna go across. And we're going to answer that phone. Okay, so we're off by about 8 thousandths. And what I've done is I've loosened this side, and then we're just going to tap it back. Tap it back the other way till we come up with 0. There's 0 right there. We'll snug it back down. We'll take it up and bring it back across. So we're at about 5 now. So let's just loosen this side. Tap it back. Ah! I hit the indicator. I'm just going to tap it a little bit. All right, we got to do this over. Okay, indicator's going to hit right there somewhere. Let's get it more straight on. There we go. Okay, take it up, take it over. Bring it down, 2/1000ths. And 0. Okay, I can do 2/1000ths. All right. Let's start in. Well, good morning. Here we are again. It's a fresh new day. I think it's a Wednesday. It's a little cooler out today. The fires in Sonoma County are raging. And luckily for us up here in Nevada County, we've got a few fires, but they've been kept under really good control. And we're happy about that. So we're back to the triple clamps. I got one triple clamp done. I can't wait to take it over to the grinder and do a little grinding with a 240 grit paper and see how it comes out. But for now, we're going to take the top triple clamp out and we're going to put the bottom triple clamp in and do the work that we need to do on it. So follow along. We're going to have some fun. All right, let's see what this is going to look like. We're going to start with by doing the bottom side first, just in case things go sour. I don't know, it's looking pretty good. So, I don't know, this came out pretty nice. I just sanded it a little bit on the 240, and the surface is really good. Now he's going to take this and have it polished and chrome plated, but for the moment that looks pretty good, and it's all prepped and ready for the chrome, for the plater. So that looks pretty good. Now what we got to do is come in and take a cut. Let me get a pen. We're going to cut someplace back in here and put a pinch bolt in here so that we have an ability to pinch down on the shafts itself. So that's probably the next step. And then of course we've got this bored out, so now we got to build the shaft, put the threading on it, get it all set up to press into here, and then he's going to take it and have it TIG welded, because I don't have TIG welding capabilities. So, hey, I think it came out pretty well. And look at the end. Ah, man, that looks sweet. It's got a nice sharp edge too. So, onward. That's almost perfect. Okay, that's pretty good there. And it's going to come in right at that angle right there. Boy, that's an awful steep angle. Let's do a 90 first for the bolt itself. I mean, it's not a steep angle on this one, but this has a smaller hole in it and a longer stretch on it. So I think maybe we ought to kind of consider putting something in that's a little bit closer. And that's 90 degrees from this flat. And then we can come in and put our, yeah. What are we going to have here? Huh. Well, I'm wondering if I can just step up here closer to the top. No, I really can't, because I've got to countersink that hole, and our seat is going to be someplace right in here. So, well, let's just strike our line and see what it looks like. All right, I see. Okay. So get rid of that. And our bolt is going to go parallel or perpendicular to this line, not the other line, not the back. Okay, so here, and we're sitting at 90 degrees. And we want our bolt to clear that edge by a little bit. Now we need it a little bit more somewhere in that general area. I'm thinking that looks pretty good. And the bolt's going to go in about like that. We've got a nice lot of room here, a lot of grip here. I think we're good. So that means we come around on this side. Let's get rid of that. Come around on this side, do the same thing. Does it go to there? No. Does that look like it? I think it does. And then we do a 90 from there. How far in? Let's see how close we are to this whole mess. Yep, right on the money. And then so we come in and do a 90 someplace right in that general area. Okay. And that's a 90. And we take that further down just for yucks. Now I'm looking at this possibility of this bolt hole, and we're looking at it being somewhere in that general area right there. Right? That looks a little too close to my sleeve. So I think what we want to do is we're going to take this out. Let's go out just a little further, like say to here. That's better. I like that. So we could just measure. These are all accurate here, so we could just measure from here over to here. And 90. There's 90. And there's the extension. I don't know, it looks thicker to here, from here to here. I'm thinking it is. By about a mile. Now what's changed it? All right, that looks good. Let's go from here to here to here. Reasonable. We're going to go from here to here. Nice. And I think we got it. So we set up and drill the hole first, and then come in and cut the saw the split. So first thing we do, set up, drill a hole from this direction down that way.